Hello everybody. Welcome to my channel. I am Cecilia and this is Happy Wallet Studio. I have a lot of things to talk and go over with you. So let's jump right in. So this is my, it's an agenda planner, but well, I have my binder coming. I ordered one from Amazon and it's super cute and I should get it today. And then I'm gonna transfer all of this there. So this is what we've been up to. This is my expenses, what we have spent for the month of July so far. Let's close this. Okay. What we have spent for the month of July. And let's go over with you. Okay. So it's actually been a few days since the last time I updated this. So I already entered everything. Whatever you see here on this side are deposit, either income or, you know, my husband was able to sell some stuff. So we got like other income. There's another income here. Everything else on this side is what we've spent. So I got some clothes that my daughter needed, the Coach, gas, Publix. This don't count is because, as you know, I have my wallet with cash for groceries and anything that's eating related. When I do the don't count is when I have to use the card for whatever reason, and I just pull the cash later, and I just mark it as don't count because if you go to the where's my cash spending, there should be like a cash spending here. So don't count $40.13. I have it right here as $41. You know, I always round up, especially if it's cash. Here I have to keep it with the cents because at the end of the day, just to make sure I enter everything, I like to have this number has to match my checking account. So, but in here, I know it was $41 and it doesn't, and it is okay with me. So continuing on, well, the Fun Regal, this is our go-to for fun. I paid, I think it's $26.20 a month for my membership. My oldest daughter also has another one for $26.20, and my youngest, actually my mom pays for her. So, and we're constantly going to the movies with that membership. We get unlimited movies. We can go as many times as we want, and they don't charge you unless you book in advance to reserve the seating. Here in Miami, especially if it's, you know, one of those big blockbusters, it's better if you reserve the seat. If not, you won't find any or close together, or, you know. So it's like 50 cents for each plus the tax. So yeah, so I count this, I take this from my checking, $1.08 for fun. Geico, $6.58. We have 3 cars, but it increased a lot for my daughter. I have a 20-year-old, if you haven't heard, like you don't know, 20-year-old, and because of that and how young she is, even though she is very responsible, they give us like a discount because she's studying and has good grades. But you know, it's still $6.58 for 3 cars. I believe we were paying with my husband for 2 cars, I don't know, like $400. Her alone is close to $300. So yeah. Okay, so Discovery, this is utilities, is my Discovery Plus. Wi-Fi, Ring is my alarm. I pull some money for savings because of this deposit. So I pulled the $6.58 and I transfer it to my savings account. These are credit cards, Paramount Plus, because, you know, what happened with the streaming for us is that I like to watch, for example, Prime and Netflix. My youngest, she only watches Paramount Plus and Disney. The other one, and so on. And my husband, he has to have, I think, is Discovery Plus. So I negotiated with them. We each pick one, and there's at least four um, streaming channels that we keep. Income for my husband for this pay period. Affirm is debt. Tampa's is toll, so it goes into transportation. Food, Chick-fil-A. We went to Chick-fil-A. This is $55 for 4 people. It's just, everything has increased so much. But, considering how the prices are, I mean, $55 for Chick-fil-A, full meals for all 4 of us. Anyway, I don't think I'm gonna do it again because me and my husband got sick after we had this. My daughters know they were fine, so I think it has to do with the amount of whatever that they put in. So anyway, so that's that. And continuing on. Oh no, this is it. Oh, hold on. I think there's one more. There's one more page that this one. Here it is. Yeah. So iCloud. This is for the storage. Walmart. My husband, he usually doesn't spend because he pull $100 every month for his expenses. I guess he ran out of money, so it's there, and I'm counting this one within his category. Income, this is mine for the pay period. Audible, I do keep Audible because it's very convenient for my daughter. My youngest daughter was diagnosed with ADD, and even though she's been able to, she's already 16, so she knows better. She knows she has to focus. She's doing great in school, thank goodness. But the Audible, every time she reads a book, is better for her to follow along someone else reading. So, and that's when Audible comes in. The books that she's reading now, she's studying 10th grade. In a month, in August. So yeah, and the books are really thick now. So yes, this helps her keep the pace, because if not, she's gonna fall behind. So Audible staying. Amazon purchase. This is my binder, $17, and it's coming today, and I'm really excited. Parking, went to the doctor, and well, this is an hour, and I had to extend it. Savings that I pull to my savings account. Best Buy, we needed a printer, so I got the printer. I have the sinking fund for it, so actually this morning I transfer money to cover this expense. This is the credit card. When we were at the store, this happened last night, we were at the store with my husband, and I was getting the printer. It was actually $229. It was on sale. That's why I ran and got it. $229. They charged me, obviously, taxes, and I paid $50 extra for warranty, like extended warranty for 5 years. So I was like, okay, let's, and they will cover everything. Like whatever happens with the printer, they will replace it. So I thought it was a good deal. So $300. And then my husband was next to me, and he's like, why don't you use the credit card if we have the credit card? And me, I'm like, no, because I'm trying to get rid of, like debt. In his mind, it's more convenient, and I can understand that. It's more convenient, don't use the cash, because you're gonna deplenish your cash, and just go with a credit card. And I'm like, no, because the credit card, I'm gonna end up paying, I don't know, double, because especially for store credit cards like the Best Buy that we have, I believe is around 30% in interest. So I'm not gonna pay the $300. I'm gonna pay a lot more, and that car still has close to $4,000 in debt. So no. This number will increase, and I'm keeping it like this. This is not the minimum. I think the minimum right now is $150. I'm keeping it at here because I actually want to get rid of the car. So no, he walked away. He understood, and I did my thing. I'm gonna transfer the money to cover for this expense. But yeah, it's I guess it's a switch. It's in the way you think about your expenses and how debt works. And at the end of the day, if I were to put this $300 into the credit card, yeah, I wasn't gonna feel it now. Definitely gonna feel it later, because the 4,000 whatever amount I have is still in debt on this card is gonna increase. It's not gonna stay like this, So me, no. When for the cash, I'm gonna transfer the money over. It hasn't cleared my account. Like, I have everything in here is what is cleared on my account. So it's gonna clear, I'm sure, by Monday or Tuesday, and then I'm gonna update this. So after this is done and updated exactly as what it is showing on my checking account, is when I go to my budget. This is what I did at the beginning of the month. When you do, this is my 2 pay periods, 1 to 14 and 15 to 31. You don't have to do it that way. You can do it every week. You can do it, I don't know, like every 2 weeks like I do. I like to keep it that way. My husband gets paid the 1st and the 15th of every month, and I get paid every other week. So there are months that are very separate, and we have checks coming in every week, which I'm not a really fan of, since they're not as consistent, I guess. It happens like once or twice a year. It messes me up completely. Because then, like the food, for example, which is our big expense and the one that I put money for, I'll have to calculate whatever amount in 4 instead of just 2. And it just wasn't great. So as much as I can, I try to keep it like every 2 weeks. So this is the income, all of my bills, my variable expenses right here, and the sinking funds if I have the money left over. So in this case, I just pull money for food because it gives me it keeps me accountable, food, especially, you go to the market, you go to eat out, whatever, and the money just goes and you don't realize it. Having the cash, I know exactly how much I have left in my wallet, and that's what it is, and there's no more. There are months, and you will see soon here, I think, the Chick-fil-A. Yeah, it was a Chick-fil-A. Here, I use my credit card, because for Chick-fil-A, I have the app, and it's very convenient, and I just go through the card line, and you have everything paid in order, and they give you your food. So in this case, like in here, I should have pulled the money and put it in back in the bank. But I knew I didn't have this. Like, I knew this amount was gonna be over what I anticipated we were gonna spend in this category. So I just left it as is. I still have to count it because, it is food. So if it's not here, like this one is already in my cash tracker. This one is not, so I have to count it. All right, so for this pay period, I just pull money for food and for the punch card for my daughter ice skating class. Everything else goes, it comes directly out of my checking account. So after you have all of this good, nice, neat with your checking account, is when I go to the budget, my budget sheet, and I started writing whatever has cleared my account. Let me put this on the side. So in this case right now, obviously I already pulled the money because we already received the income. Like, it's already in the account. As soon as that is that is on my account is when I pull whatever cash I decided I was gonna pull. So $5.50 for food, groceries. This is also eating out. It's also household. Everything is together bundled up. So $5.50 and then the $70 for my daughter. So that's why I put them both in actual. And then Audible cleared. The Apple Video for my husband is in pencil because it's there in the account. I can see it, but it's pending. So until this amount doesn't clear, I won't put it in pen. Best Buy, this is the credit card for $177, and my husband Capital One for $86. Everything else is not in the account yet. This I have updated with what already cleared in my account. And after that, I go back to my tracker and I pull my mini trackers from here. Probably you will think, oh, this is a lot, this is too much. Trust me, it's not. As soon as you're used to it, even if you give yourself like, I don't know, like 5-10 minutes every other day, because you don't have to do it like today. It's long for me because I haven't done it in like a week. You know, I have from the 13th all the way to the 17th. So yeah, so it's gonna take me a little while. But if you do it like every other day, every 3 days, depending on how much your account moves, is more than enough. So this is for my variables. It's gas. Actually, these two because I ran out here. So this is gas, this is miscellaneous, and this is Affirm, because I don't have a way to know if I'm on the right track or not, or if I went over. So that's why I have variables. So for example, Garden, he just charges $40 every time he comes, and that's every other week. I began putting the Garden here because I didn't have a space on this side with the paper, the worksheet that I was using. So and I just got used to it, and it stays there. The Coach, sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't get it. The amount is the same. She charges $40 for the 45 minutes of private coaching, and you know, and this is something that I work out with her. I much rather keep it in variable because again, sometimes my daughter takes it, sometimes she doesn't, it stays there. Affirm, because it varies so much, I like to keep the tracker. And for this, the beginning of the month, I have $4 left over. I know the second part is gonna be about the same, so I always budget $70 per pay period. So this is the one. Food, you know, my $sign is cash, and that I keep in my wallet. Miscellaneous is another tracker, and this is right here. That's miscellaneous. And gas and some pasta stalls. Fun and health and beauty, I didn't pull anything. I usually pull cash for these two. They go in my wallet. This pay period is a little tight, so I didn't pull anything. But I keep these two like as a, I don't know, like I guess a rollover sinking fund. If I use it, is great, and I know the money is in my wallet. If I don't, it stays there because I'm gonna use it at one point for whatever. Well, these are two sinking funds right now: the punch card for my daughter and the school. So go back to my tracker, and I start going over one by one. Let's do Affirm first because that's, I think, the one that has the least. And I just look for Affirm. I know Affirm is debt, so I look for Affirm. This is Amazon, this is Citi Card. Affirm. Okay, so Affirm is on the 15 for $13.81. To me, this is $14. Much better. I actually, see, I'm making a mistake because I didn't do how much I allocated. which is pretty important. Okay, so for a firm, I give it for this. I'm just gonna leave that as is. Okay, so it's $70. This four, it doesn't matter. I will keep it there. I'm not gonna take it or it because I know the account is balanced. I know the $70 that I allocated was enough, so I don't worry about this four. I start brand new with the $70 for the second part of the month. So on the 17th, we said it was $13.81, I believe. So to me, that's 14. And let's go back. Oh my God, I so need my binder. Okay, here. Okay. $14, here it is, $13.81, so that's 14. And then there's another one here for $15.34. I think I'm gonna give it 16 too. So that's 16. It was the same day, so I'm gonna keep it there. And then because I don't like to think like my nephew said, but it doesn't matter, I use my calculator for this. So 70, 56. And 56 minus 16 is 40. Okay, so I have 40 so far. Let me look at the second page. And that, Best Buy, and Capital One. Okay, so there's no more Affirm. This one is gonna stay like this, and I put it on the side, and I move on to what is gas and sun passes. And I think I'm gonna speed this up so you don't have to wait that long. I need to double check this, but I am already over in my miscellaneous account, which is okay. I mean, it's $4. I know within the next week or so we might have more stuff coming in, but you know, I think I'm gonna, like, I can fly by because there's categories that I don't like take them to the top. So I think miscellaneous is gonna be okay. So as soon as that's done, I know I already tracked everything. This goes back to their envelope. There. Okay, so this goes back to the envelope, and now I'm ready to highlight. Why do I highlight? Because at the end of the month, when I close the account, it's easier to see which expense belong to which category. So you just count. I mean, you're gonna go over the whole thing regardless if you want to close it. There's people that don't close it, and it's okay. I do close it to see how much I went over, which categories and why, or you know, if I was under, why, because there's also like school, for example. Obviously there's nothing in the school, but if I see the trackers, or you know, last year the closing for August, it was a bit high, because at the beginning of the year we have to pay for the lunch for that month, we have to pay for uniforms. Even though there's a sinking fund for it, there's still the uniforms. There's I don't know, my daughter has one day that she can wear jeans because she usually goes in uniform. So there's one day for jeans, and I think that's $20 for the whole year. I mean, stuff like that, and fees that are not like I try to calculate as the best I can, but sometimes it's just off, and yeah, and that's why I like to see year over year how much and what was the flow of each of the categories. All right, so let's begin highlighting. All right, so I don't highlight that because I don't have enough colors. What's in savings, I do have, well, I use a different color like here because I wanted to highlight it, but not from this pack over here. Okay, and this one. And income doesn't get highlighted either. All right, so this is done. So now I finish with the trackers. My mini trackers are updated. The this is updated. This is updated. This is the cash that I use from my wallet, and I do have the latest. Then that was Publix for $82. All right, so this is updated too, and I think I'm good. Now today, and I also wanted to tell you, today I have to pay, as soon as actually I'm done with this video, I have to pay for my daughter's punch card. The punch card is actually one of the big things here in my trackers, not the trackers, the sinking funds. It is this one. They charge, I'm not gonna pull the full, like all the cash, but they charge $240 for the semester, which is 2.5 months or so, depending on how many holidays there are. So yeah, $240. So what I do is I replenish. Right now it's sitting at 420. So I know I'm not gonna spend this much. It's actually close to half. But the remaining amount, I'm just gonna keep it there because there's always something that she needs. She doesn't spend much because she only takes classes once or twice a week. Well, no, actually classes, no. She goes to class one time a week. With this punch card, she can go as many times as she wants. It's unlimited, and they are not gonna charge it. To the free, not the free, it's the public sessions when she goes with her friends and whatever, and they don't charge her for that because she has a punch card. But the punch is for classes only, which is once a week. But because she goes, it is really cold inside, and sometimes no, I always keep her with gloves, especially because she falls, and when she falls, obviously they touch the ice to get up or whatever, so her hands get really cold. So I like to have her with gloves. There's the pantyhose that they use when they wear the skates. Right now I got her a new pair of skates, which are like the middle, I guess the middle level, intermediate level. Before she had one for beginners, which cost me, I believe it was like $150. But this new pair, it was a little over $400, which blew me away. I didn't know they could be that expensive, especially for, an intermediate level skater. It's really cool because they heat it up to her feet, and but still, that's $400. They told me that it should last her because she doesn't go every single day, and they're not gonna wear like get used that much that quickly. It should last for a good year and a half. So well, that happens, much rather keep this space, $40 here and there, $50 here and there. So when that big expense that I now know are the skates, in her case, because she's not competing right now, I much rather keep this growing, little by little. So they only get the payments online. So right now I have to go online, log into her account, pay for the punch card so she can go to the class, and then later I'm gonna pull that money from this sinking fund and deposit it back in my account. And that's how you do it. I'm not gonna go and grab cash. I wish I could, because it would be much easier. It's a step, one less step that I have to make. But that's how it works. I'm just gonna pay, and then this money deposited back in the account to cover for that expense. And that is it. So I hope you enjoy this video. I know it has been a little bit longer than I usually make them, but I wanted to show you like the whole thing, so you know, to give you a better idea of how the process works. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Subscribe, comment, like, that would be great. Thank you so much for everything. If you are new, thank you for being here. If you have been following, I do appreciate you, and I hope to see you all soon. Thank you. Bye.